So China is on track to meet its economic growth goal of 5% in 2023. What is your outlook of China's economy in 2024?
It's clear that when we look and ask the CEO community more broadly, that there's globally an increased degree of optimism from where we are compared to last year. And if you look at China, that continues to be the case as well, which is good. When you look at the confidence to be able to increase the GDP, you have close to 60% of the CEOs believing that'll be the case, which is another indicative sign of positive momentum in China itself. So the economy overall has got an upside potential, but yet there's concerns as to whether organizations can do it themselves, which means that the CEOs and the C-suites will have to do more to gain market share and to raise prices and to increase margins across the board in China specifically. But the world is expecting that expectation as well, that there's a stabilization of the economy in 2024 that'll also create opportunities in China, but also opportunities for China economic implications around the world also.
Do you expect the Davos this year can promote some confidence in the world economic outlook? In particular, regarding China, we know China has a big delegation here. How do you expect from the messages that China delivered to the world?
Yeah, it's clear that one of the concerns from an economic perspective is degree of certainty. CEOs, governments, citizens around the world want more certainty so they can make decisions and plan accordingly. In the case of the corporates, they clearly are thinking about that certainty because we see a concern about the need for reinvention of themselves. So much change is coming around them. There's issues of less certainty will create a paralyzing effect, and therefore they'll slow down investment and capital improvement projects and other aspects like that. So one of the things that I think is going to be very important is for the Chinese delegates here in Davos to continue President Xi's conversations, for example, at the COP meeting, and continue to bring a degree of stability and resiliency to the Chinese economy locally, but also how he will continue and the administration will continue to open up for global economic opportunities within China and for China around the rest of the world.
You're very familiar with China and its economic roadmap. In your opinion, how can the country further recharge its growth momentum? What are the priorities?
Yeah, there's two or three things that are very important, as was said by many in the administration in China. First is the stabilization of the property sector more broadly. That's very important when you look at the enormous impact it had over the last couple of years. The second is to make sure that the consumption of the country is still at a reasonable level. When you look at the rise of the middle class broadly across the country, and when you look at its expenditures, that gives corporates a degree of optimism that there's consumer opportunity for them. And third is the continued revitalization and upswing relevant to the central and western part of China. That's going to be equally as important, since so much of the last 20 and 30 years has been focused on the eastern part of China as an opportunity. So those three things will be very important. Clearly, monetary policy and fiscal policy, the stabilization of that will be needed to fuel that opportunity in those three key areas. So the whole world's looking for that kind of focus going ahead. And again, that's something that can, I think, be communicated here in Davos.